What is your beef? Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know who
the
you
pool
are.
house is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
Movie Madness Entertainment.
Welcome, everyone, to Movie Madness Entertainment. I'm Max. You know me well. I'm the most unbiased and brutally honest movie talk pundit there is. You're already in the right place for everything happening in entertainment. Callie's ready. Callie's barking. I can't wait to talk about Superman. No spoilers, please, though. And about what James Gunn's plans are. I really contemplated a lot about it. I think I know where we're going. It's not particularly where I wanted to go, but I'm okay with it. You know, what am I going to do? I'm along for the ride now. That's why I feel I can be more objective than most. I've hung up my fanboy, and I'm just wanting some great movies now and some fun movies. And I do think it was fun. Just, hold on a second. Sorry about that. The wife didn't know I was streaming tonight. Okay, where was I going? Hey, Sean. Thank you for joining me. One of the few. Weird. This is no one wanted to show up for this particular topic. Interesting. Where James Gunn's going next. I could be wrong. This is pure speculation. I really thought about it. I wasn't in a horrible mood yesterday. I was a little bit let down by Superman. Not Superman himself, just the movie. You know, Superman himself, I was ecstatic by him and Lois. And I really wanted to think about where James Gunn is going next, where I think what the sequel to this is going to be. And I have some great topics for tonight. Let me see. There's a few things I wanted to bring up first here. I'm going to make a banner for me. So please bear with me. I think I think right now what's happening is everyone is trying to avoid Superman spoilers. Now that the majority of the YouTubers, reviewers have seen Superman, now everyone wants to just buckle down and wait so they don't get spoiled, which I understand. So we might have few viewership tonight, but I would appreciate if you would thumbs up the video and comment so we could talk about some stuff. What is the sequel? All right. Now that I've seen Superman, I gave it a 6 out of 10. It is fun. Not my favorite James Gunn movie, not my favorite superhero movie, not my favorite superhero movie this year. Some of my favorite scenes in superhero movies ever, though, with Lois and Clark. And what James Gunn's been writing, what he could potentially announce at either Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con. It seems more likely New York Comic-Con. But Warner Brothers does, I think, have Hall H for San Diego Comic-Con. And this is a big announcement what the sequel is going to be. I think the other reason that he's been so tight-lipped on it is, and especially after watching Superman, and Superman is definitely in the movie, but I feel it's more like a Justice Gang or thank you, Chubby Teddy. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Or it's more like a prequel to the Justice Gang or Justice League International. And I will not be spending spoilers here, but I also wanted to talk about the James Gunn in. How we all know, and I did not want to accuse James Gunn of this before I actually watched the movie. But James Gunn turned down Superman first, and that is very, very intriguing. It always has been. I didn't want to use it against him because I know people against him are going to use that against him. And I don't think he I did it right before the stream. Yes. Where can I get you, Chubby Teddy? Can I get you on this stream? Man, I miss you. Okay. So there is a lot to help speculation just by looking at this quote from James Gunn. I think we all know, even fans of James Gunn, what his preferences are for characters, what gets him excited, and this is what he originally said. Is it true you turned down a Superman movie? If so, why? This was back a while ago on X when he still had brown hair, So he said, because the Suicide Squad interested me more. Just because one character is more famous or popular doesn't mean I'm going to be more creatively invigorated by the story. For over 2 years, it takes to write and direct a film. Now, what changed since this quote? Do you think James Gunn's changed since this quote? The one thing that we know for a fact that has changed is he decided to do Superman. And one of the things that he said as the reason that he decided to do it is he finally found his end. Okay. Now, this isn't necessarily big spoilers, but some may consider it slight spoilers. So please keep that in mind. Actually, the first part of this, what I'm going to tell you about Superman, is not spoilers at all because it's in the trailers. If you've seen the trailers, Superman is beaten. That's where the crypto scene. That's basically the beginning of the movie. I feel that was his end to Superman. So he may not have to deal with him as much. And there's been lots of writers that say it's hard to write Superman because he's so powerful. What do you do with Superman? So I think even though he didn't disrespect Superman in this movie, I do not think that. But his end was a broken down Superman so I could focus on the characters that really interest me. And I don't think James Gunn, even though he agreed to do Superman, that his preferences have changed. And I know a lot of the OG comic book fans of Superman or of DC Comics may be in the same mindset as him. The Suicide Squad interested me more. And I do feel like even now, even though he directed Superman, after seeing it, he didn't disrespect the character. He did not. I'm not suggesting that. But I still believe if you're going to weigh the characters and James Gunn's preferences and where he wants to take this universe, it's not Superman 2. It may not even be World's Finest, which I thought was going to go. It's probably most likely going to be Justice League International or Justice Gang. That was a huge through line through this movie about what they're going to call their group. And at the very beginning, you have a broken down Superman, and slight spoilers towards the end. You have a Justice Gang that's still trying to find their name all together, and I don't believe Superman's there, and there is a Justice Gang formed that eventually will lead to either they're just going to call it Justice Gang or Justice League International. And I think that's where you're going with it. And even though I had issues with Lex in this movie, this Lex is perfect Lex for a leader of the Legion of Doom. There's almost like a proto Legion of Doom in here too, you know? So I think that's where we're going. I don't know exactly how he's gonna what he's going to for exactly how it's gonna play, the context of it, but I really believe that's the sequel. Justice League International versus the Legion of Doom. Especially since Lex is really gonna be upset, you know. He's gonna be upset in the next movie, you know. Let me see. I don't know what you mean. The most messed up scene in a movie this year was the knife scene in Bring Her. I didn't see that scene. Okay. So I'm also going to bring up an article here that just came out, but it's probably just going back to that original quote. James Gunn explains why he turned down directing Superman at first. When I was originally offered, this might be a different quote. Good. Okay, good. When I was originally offered to direct Superman back in 2018, I said no. Gunn said at a Q&A hosted at the HMV shop in London. I was daunted by the task. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. And I do think that's how he was able to, the end for him was not just for Superman. I think it was the end to get the characters he cares about the most. I'm not saying he doesn't like Superman, but I don't think that's his jam. I'm going to be referencing that quite a few times. What's your jam in DC? What do you really like? Because there's lots of versions of Superman. There's lots of versions of the Justice League. What do you really like? Okay, if you remember, there was other stuff happening with Superman at the time. Gunn implied that DC Films leadership at the time didn't want to make a sequel to Zack Snyder's Man of Steel with Henry Cavill reprising his role from 2013's Superman reboot, 2016's Batman v Superman, and 2017's Justice League. It was going to be politically messy, Gunn said. So I said no, and I took the Suicide Squad, which was a more familiar type of group to me, which I'm glad I did. That was fun. And I still think that's really what he likes the most. Isaac, yes, he said that he wanted to do Suicide Squad at the time, and Superman at the time was a lot more volatile. They were still dealing with what to do with Superman. It was like it was in a transitional period at the time. But I do still think that this is what he wants. And if you look at the characters from the Justice Gang in Superman, is Superman more of a platform for the Superman sequel or for the Justice Gang characters to be introduced and thrive? And I say Superman the movie benefits Justice Gang more than Superman himself. Just Superman within the Justice League International, of course, he's a factor. He's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be the main focus. I think this movie does better for Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and Hawk Girl, and Peacemaker Season 2 than The Future of Superman. I really, really honestly believe that. That's why I said I'm looking more forward to Peacemaker Season 2 than I am to what he does with Superman next. And the vibe of the Justice Gang and Justice League International is just perfect for the Peacemaker characters and for them to continue, and Suicide Squad characters to continue. Let me read the rest of this, and then we'll get to some other news about Hawkgirl, because he did mention Hawkgirl. Okay. He contemplated including Superman in the Suicide Squad, saying at the time he had a vague idea of having Task Force X contend with the most powerful hero in the world, although he was unsure of the answer to question like, who is Superman in the DCU? The mind-controlling alien Starro ultimately made into the film as the squad's mission. But he kept thinking, Superman. I couldn't get it out of my head. How would I do it if I did? What would that movie be like? How could I make it work for today's audience? And how could it speak to people? And eventually started to think maybe it was something I could do. So when they reapproached me with the idea for writing Superman 3 years ago, I said yes. Before Gunn and producer James Safran were hired to head the newly formed DC Studios in late 2022, which Warner Brothers Discovery David Zaslav characterized as a reset, Warner Brothers Films division had undergone a series of regime changes. I don't know if I need to read all this. Okay, this is just all stuff we know. Okay, so I think the most telling thing about what people are coming out of this movie are saying is Mr. Terrific stole the show. Not Superman. As a scene stealer. What's going to happen to Mr. Terrific? Guy Gardner is a really, really cool, fun character. Where's Guy Gardner going to be next? And we already have the answer. We don't know where Superman's going to show up next, but we already know where a Justice Gang character is going to be next. And I'll bring that up here. And you already know, too, if you've been watching the trailers for Peacemaker Season 2. Now, I think she was the weakest of the Justice Gang. I don't think she was bad by any stretch of the means. It just, But ultimately, this is a launching pad. Superman is a launching pad for Hawkgirl to thrive within Peacemaker and Justice Gang and Justice League International. I think you're really going to start to like her character, Peacemaker Season 2. Because if this news is accurate, let me bring this up. Hawkgirl apparently has a big role in Peacemaker Season 2, OMG. She later concluded by explaining that she loved getting to explore the chemistry between the Justice Gang and both Superman and Peacemaker. Exactly how big her role in Peacemaker Season 2 and how Superman ties into the show will be revealed in just 2 days. I think they're just talking about Superman. But don't be surprised if you're really going to see Hawkgirl shine in Peacemaker Season 2, and this was just the launching pad in the end to get the characters that he really loves. And I'm not saying he dislikes other DC characters. I'm not saying that. But we know what James Gunn's jam is. We know the offbeat, the stranger characters with unique stories, And I think Peacemaker Season 2 is going to be stronger than Superman, honestly. I really believe that. And I'm looking forward to it. And I am a James Gunn fan. I just prefer him on projects like Peacemaker, like Suicide Squad, like Guardians, I think that's where he thrives. Honestly, if you were really going to make an amazing DC movie, I would combine Zack Snyder and James Gunn together. Zack Snyder's flair for action and epicness and James Gunn's character moments and humor. And combine those two would be amazing. I think they would be stronger together, honestly. I think both versions of DC are missing a little bit. Just different tones and vibes. Okay, let me bring up the other topic I have here, but that what is the sequel to Superman? Ultimately, I believe, I don't even think it's World's Finest. I think it's going to go straight into Justice League International or Justice Gang. I think that's why it was such a big joke in this movie about, you've seen the clips of Guy Gardner saying Justice Gang, Justice Gang. I think that's why we know the lead, where do the Super Friends go to? Hall of Justice, you know? It's in there in the movie. You've seen the images from the the set photos. So I think that's where we're going. Justice League International versus Legion of Doom. When I really thought they were going to do World's Finest, I don't think so. I think I'm not getting into spoilers, but where this leaves off, I do think Lex is really going to want to have his own group to counteract the Justice Gang. Justice Gang versus Legion? I don't know. That's my best guess as to what, where it is going. All right. Jacob McKenzie, what up? I forgot to post the mailbag. Maybe I'll post it right now. If you want to throw in a few topics there, I'll post it right now. Man, is it dead on the... People really don't want to get spoiled. That's what it is. All right, here. Let me post. I really want to talk spoilers too. It's just I don't want to spoil it for anyone else. Okay, I posted the members mailbag. If we have other topics besides, listen, guys, this is good because I want to do more solo streams anyway. We kind of get off track, and this channel is going places. I know it, and it's thanks to your support. I know we only have 6 viewers now. I know there's other streams up, and people want to enjoy in the conversation, but after they've seen it, so I get that. But I have a bunch of DC updates in this video. I have 2 other topics, but if you have other topics you want to cover, please put them in the comments section now so we can bring that up. Let me go back here. All right, I have another topic. I also am going to upgrade the emojis. I am going to do, because I'm done with fanboy stuff. I am trying to be as unbiased and objective as possible. I'm done with fanboy wars. I really am. So, you know how they say fanboy tears? I'm going to say, drinking fanboy tears is weird. And we don't do that, but we do get the popcorn. So I'm going to do a popcorn emoji titled fanboy tears for when anyone's fanboying out in the chat. Oh, Cal, I got your feedback. I understand. I apologize for last member stream. Members all have the link, so everyone's allowed on, but we really have to, on member stream, the focus is going to be people that do not get to go on the regular MME live. So they get priority. So my apologies, Cal, that you felt you couldn't speak your voice on the last stream. We will do better for you and members. That's not cool. I'll work on it. That's the only thing I can promise is I'll work on it. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so the next topic is, I think even I don't like the way this banner looks. Let me change the style. I don't know. Is this better? I like this. Okay. We all, fans, so people that really like Superman and critics alike both agree on one thing, that this feels like a literal superhero cartoon. Some take that positive, some take that negative, depending on the tone and which version of DC you like. And there's so many versions of DC. And there's two very popular animated DC superhero shows that are consistently referenced. And without spoilers, I will tell you, this, is Superman. So the majority of people, if you did a poll, I probably think like 75% people would say either they liked it or they didn't like Superman. It's very comic booky. I know we're going to get sick of hearing that. Very much like a superhero animated series. But what I want to ask you is the two most popular, there's other ones, there's other Superman and Justice League cartoons, but the two most popular are that I could think of are there's like Legion of Doom, or I forget some of the other off ones, but the two most popular referenced are Super Friends and Justice League International. Justice League International came out after Batman, the animated series, and Bruce Timm was behind it. And I will say this, without getting into spoilers, I will say that I believe, thank you, Cheeseman, that Superman is more Super Friends than Justice League or Justice League International. And some people might be like, heck yeah. And I ultimately think that James Gunn is just grew up with Super Friends as well. And I enjoy Super Friends for what it is. But my jam is Justice League and Justice League International that came out after Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series. I think it was superior. I think it had more epic storytelling. And that's what I would prefer, my personal preference. And I will make it a poll, Cal, but I think most in the chat haven't seen it yet. So I think that's where we're going, and it might succeed with the younger generations, because honestly, it's sad to say, like, Justice League and Justice League International animated series was generations ago too. It was a different generation. So maybe comes back around, and that would be better with these younger generations that are really active on social media. Some of these animated series that are extremely popular right now, or Minecraft, it's just not for me, but it might work. But I think that's where we're going. And I don't think that it's going to be epic multi-arc, like Game of Thrones level or Lord of the Rings level with Justice League. I think it's going to be more like an episode of the Super Friends where Luthor and the Legion of Doom have a plan and it's over in one movie. Episodic instead of big, huge arcs, which I actually watched Angry Joe. I don't really like Angry Joe's show anymore. But I watched his review, and I was getting angry because I agreed with everything he said. I'm like, I don't really like you anymore. But I'm like, he gave the exact same score, 6 out of 10 as I did. And he said, it's like an animated show, but not the cool episodes. And I kind of agree with that. I think it's like the one episodes that aren't like super epic, and it's just like a self-contained episode, and tune in next week for Super Friends. And people might like that. And if you like my friend Joe, he's like, not everything has to connect. Some things are just, I love building extra stuff, big epicness. I love all that. That's my preference. Some people like the episode of the week and move on. See you next week, Super Friends. Same bat time, same bat channel, same Superman, Super Friends channel. And get superhero Super Friends with cereal, that type of thing. I'm not trying to diminish it. People like that, enjoy that, and that's great. I like the big epic arc storylines that the stakes couldn't be higher. And Superman is so powerful, Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice, thank you, the Looney Gamer. Yes, meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice, that's what you're going to be getting. Let me see. Those shows came out in the 90s. Probably the majority of viewers were born at least in 2000. Yeah. David Cushmore, $4.99. Will they do Superman versus Alien? They have it in the comic books, but I'm not sure if it's going to make it that film or not. Thank you, David Cushmore, for the super chat. I don't know. I don't think they're afraid of doing that. He's not afraid of doing a lot of things. And I've criticized this particular project, not that it's this disrespectful to Superman, but it's more of a platform for the Justice Gang than Superman. I think I'm more intrigued to what's going to happen with the Justice Gang members than what's going to happen to Superman next, honestly. And I think those characters are going to thrive more in James Gunn's DC than Superman himself. Superman's going to be in it. He's going to have some great moments, but it's not as focused as on Superman like the last version, like Zack Snyder's, where you had Doomsday. They did too much Superman to the point where Batman v Superman, you have Doomsday in it, and the Justice League movie is getting Superman back, the rebirth of Superman, you know? So some people might be sick of that. I wasn't, but I understand, you know? All right, let me see. And let me put up a poll here, if I can. Or Super Friends or Justice League International. And I actually liked the Justice League show more before it went international, where it was. And I think another way to say this thing is James Gunn's version of the Justice League, whether it's called they tried the Justice Society and Black Adam. They had the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, or there's other versions, Justice League International, Justice Gang. What are you going to get in James Gunn's DC? I think whereas Zack Snyder did the A-Team, the Justice League A-Team, the mains, the bigs, James Gunn is going to have the bigs within the universe, but it'll focus on the other characters like Batman, but Batman, the Brave and the Bold characters will get a bigger focus in the Justice League International, and Batman might be in the Justice Tower or something, giving orders, you know? So I think James Gunn's version of the Justice League is going to be Justice League B team or C team in the mains and the bigs, whereas in the last version of DC was the Justice League A team. And I'm not just trying to diminish the B team and the C team, because those could be really appealing characters. I wanted the A team to thrive first before you bring in all these other factors, other characters. And Henry Cavill would not. I don't think he would have done good with this version of the Justice League, because once Cavill's there, you want to see Cavill all the time. Where Corn Sweat, he's off to the side sometimes. He's sidelined for certain storylines. I'm not saying every time, Okay, let me see how the poll is going. Cal says, now that Soups is out of the way, are you hyped for Fantastic Four? I'm starting to get there. It looks a little bit better. I'm still not like through the moon on it, honestly. I forgot to make it live. Wait, what was it? Justice League. Oh, Anthony's here. Hey, Anthony, how's it going?
What's up?
Like, it was not called Justice League.
So what? Your mic is messed up.
My mic's messed up.
Okay, now it's good. You was low as hell.
Okay, let me see. Your audio is kind of okay. Now my mic's fine. Justice League
No,
Unlimited.
I haven't seen the movie, so
No, I'm not spoiling it. I just feel like that's where we're going. I really don't think it's going to be World's Finest anymore. I think that's what James Gunn's working on. I don't know if they're going to call it the Justice Gang or Justice League International, but I really feel
no, it's probably
that's
just gonna be. It's probably gonna be international. Makes sense.
Justice League International, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
And I mean, even while speculating, even giving a big clue is our pal Joe, Crazy Joe. He said this is when he was talking about Guy Gardner. He brought up the Justice League International with Guy Gardner on there. Yep. And without spoilers, one of the big things in this movie is, and you've seen in the trailers, is Guy Gardner saying Justice Gang, Justice Gang, Justice Gang. If there's any self-insert for James Gunn in this movie, it's not Superman. Guy Gardner is James Gunn's self-insert.
Yeah.
The way he delivers quippy lines, that's totally James Gunn's humor.
He's annoying. Guy's an annoying person, so yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so
he's probably the one that come up with the name for sure.
Yeah, that's totally. And are you going to be okay with that if that's where they go, Anthony? Is that something you want to see? I mean, this isn't confirmed, but is that where would you like this to go that way? The more B team characters, the A team characters are within the universe.
James say that they characters are coming, so
yeah, they're going to be in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But like I would have the last version, the Snyderverse, the Hamadaverse, it was more focused on the mains, the bigs. You know? So I would have preferred a fleshed out story with the bigs first.
Yeah.
Before you get to the B and C team characters, you know?
Yeah, me too, but I guess
besides he didn't.
It had to happen this way. I mean, because we just had a Wonder Woman, the Gal, and then you had Ben Affleck and I'm not gonna count Michael Keaton. Yeah, just Ben Affleck, and stuff like that. So I guess you gotta wait for a couple of years, but I mean, hopefully we get them very soon.
Okay.
And stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, I hope there's announcements. I'm surprised that Batman: The Brave and the Bold, according to James, is still a thing. But if that's a way to bring in the Batman B characters, I think that excites him more. The supplemental Batman characters.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yep.
I have another question here that I want to ask you in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great question, and I can't wait to see people on the replay too. All right. Now this may change depending on when you see the Superman movie or not, and I can't wait to talk to you about this, Anthony. But I'm going to be away for the weekend, so I won't be able to. We'll have to talk about it next week. So once you see Superman, audience and people watching this on the clip out, maybe ask this before and after you see Superman. Who would you pick? Not that this is going to happen, but there is a certain character that I think will be perfect within this universe that will never happen, but would ultimately make this universe better. Who would you pick from the previous verse? It could be any other verse of DC to come back and be in James Gunn's universe, including what he potentially will have as the Justice Gang or Justice League International. Which actor and character would you pick? And I have to get you first, Anthony, before I tell you mine. Because once I tell you mine, you're like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Who would you pick out of the previous Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, or maybe the Flash with Sasha Calle, Michael Keaton again? I don't know. Who would you pick to come back? It doesn't have to be the Snyderverse. It could be the original, Anthony says Aquaman. Anthony Cheeseman would have picked Aquaman.
Yeah, but obviously Aquaman will probably be recast at this point
because of Lobo. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that your pick?
Which honestly, that's good. Obviously, I'd rather.
Would you have Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman? Who would you pick?
Hell no.
Cyborg. Maybe Cyborg and Mr. Terrific would be pretty awesome together. Who would you pick?
Well, Cyborg will be dope because he's a part of the Teen Titans, and that's probably going to be the next movie that's coming out in the next couple of years from DC.
But I would like to see Cyborg the character, especially interact with Mr. Terrific too. I think.
They're both smart as hell. They're both very smart human beings and stuff.
But here's the caveat: if you're saying bring Zack Snyder's Cyborg in here, I don't think he would fit within this universe. Not Ray Fisher. Not when you had remember the controversy about him even saying "booyah."
Yeah.
James Gunn's DC, Cyborg's gonna say "booyah."
Yeah. He's gonna say all those comic book lines from the book and stuff like that.
That Looney Gamer.
I don't
for 60 months. Appreciate it, Looney.
Appreciate it. I don't mind the booyah line. It was force in Justice League. Like it was literally force.
Well,
I don't mind it. Whoever Cyber, I could see it.
Anyone else in the chat want to pick someone? Because I think this will never happen in a million years, especially because the movie underperformed.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra Miller's The Flash would be perfect for James Gunn's DCU. So when people were asking for Cavill to come back and Gal Gadot, and people still think Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Yeah, there's also, Blue Beetle, which might actually come back. We're unsure. We'll see. But I think Ezra Miller, if there wasn't controversy and the movie didn't underperform, and I would like the Flash within this universe. I don't know how they're going to deal with the Flash and James Gunn's DC because I want the Flash.
Either they're going to go with the Teen Titans been around.
Okay, so
I guess
James Gunn's writing with Ezra Miller's delivery, what he did in the Flash, he was funny in the Flash.
Yeah,
that was part of the best part of the movie. Would be perfect for the Justice League International. I could see it now, him interacting with Guy Gardner. And that was kind of the thing that was awkward in Zack Snyder's Justice League was Ezra had a different tone than the rest of the Justice League. He was, and didn't always, the humor wasn't always on point. Perfect. So if I had my way, and I could bring one person back from the previous verse, I would bring back Ezra Miller's Flash because I want the Flash in it. I don't know how they haven't talked about the Flash at all, but they've talked about
last time they asked James about it that it's in the work, but it's like a little bit down the line.
Yeah. So that would be my pick. I think.
The Flash exists in the DCU because they already had Kid Flash, which is obviously Wally West, and he's a part of the Teen Titans. So, we have to see at some point his uncle Barry, unless they're gonna say, that he dies of something, which it would be dumb to do. You have to have Barry as one of the founder members of the Justice League. So international, whatever they're gonna call it in the DCU. So yeah.
Well, I think that's an interesting question. I really hope we do get the Flash and Aquaman 2. I just don't. I think it's going to be a while before Flash and Aquaman. Unfortunately, I think you're going to get
Aquaman. I could see them referencing Aquaman throughout the DCU. Like name dropping, there's a person that is in Atlantis doing something in the waters. Like I could see them name dropping whether that because I don't know. I'll be shocked if Jason come back and play him again, but
Nah.
I think it's time to give a new person the role and let them flourish with the role. Like let him play like he is in the comics. Like a little bit mean, grumpy, and stuff like that. Doesn't care about he does care about humanity a little bit, but not that much. So yeah, like I like Jason portrayal, but like it was time. Like in the last movie, it was time to let it go. It really is, and I don't blame James Wan for that movie. That movie got chopped up into 2,000 pieces. Even Dolph Lundgren, he's like, yeah, that's not James Wan original cut of the movie. That's WB that put the WB cut that you saw in theaters. So hopefully we got Aquaman.
Okay. Bring up some Twitter.
Oh, back. No, well, no, actually, we are getting back because of the Bat Family. So yeah.
Okay. So this is Hawk Girl at an event, everyone's favorite a-hole. They've been saying that Hawk Girl is going to have a big role in Peacemaker season 2. I've consistently said you're going to see Justice Gang characters way more than you're going to see Superman, and that just goes with James Gunn's preferences for characters, and then also how it's worked out with Superman cameos. We know the history of WB and Superman cameos has been rough. It's probably going to be better than it was before when it was Cavill, but still, I think this is a bigger launch for Justice League International Justice Gang than Superman. I really do. I think you're oh yeah, Superman exists in this universe, but he's not the main focus, I don't believe.
They've been around for 300 years. The metahuman is Avatar, so yeah.
I know you like Isabella, right?
Oh yeah, she's a great actress.
And this is my least favorite role of hers, though, unfortunately.
I
think she's going to be better. I think. Okay.
Well, when people tell me she only had like 5 or 6 minutes on screen, like that's not her fault. That's not
no. I think she's going to thrive in Peacemaker season 2.
Yeah, like that's more of like I said that's James going forward because obviously people say the movie was tough, so like and hopefully. They do, she's a great character in the comics. I mean, so yeah, hopefully she does. I mean, she's in Peacemaker 2 coming out next month. Then hopefully we get another trailer because that so far they had no marketing whatsoever. I know Superman is coming out and they have to push that first, but you have to push your TV shows as well. So hopefully we get another trailer next week or so, or by the end of next month. For Peacemaker,
Yeah. This is a screenshot from Wednesday season 2. Billie Piper, I believe she's from Doctor Who.
Yes.
Okay, so I still haven't seen Wednesday season 1, but this image looks cool. I know there's a lot of fans that like this actress just from Wednesday. I think she might even be coming back as a doctor or something too for Doctor Who. I don't know. Is that the same?
I wouldn't be surprised if she is. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. All right. And let's see what else I got going on. Here's the Mummy cast reunited.
That's dope.
Yeah. They actually, I think they're talking about doing a Mummy 4. Everyone's probably going to come back except what was the actress's name that starred in the first 2? I forget. They replaced her in the third one. Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz. They all look great. I would say the guy on the right changed the most. He's the most hardest to recognize. He still looks good, but man, does he look different. I wonder if they're gonna. I believe. Well, Brendan's gonna come back if you do Mummy 4 for sure.
Oh
but
yeah,
I wonder
if they ever do a sequel to. If they ever do a sequel to the Brandon one, the 100, if Universal ever greenlighted, I know they're doing one. I think for Blumhouse, but I think it's Universal / Blumhouse, I guess. But like, if they ever do one for Brandon, I'll be there. I'll be there up to like a sequel, catching up with the old cast and see how they've been over these years. So I'll be there if they ever do another movie for Brandon. 100%.
Okay. Let me see here. Marvel Studios is planning to adapt the Damnation comic book storyline.
Bro,
In this story, Doctor Strange battles Mephisto. I guess it's spoilers for Ironheart, but we know Mephisto is actually a thing right now. He tries to take over Las Vegas and turn it into a new hell on Earth. What do you think of that?
I mean, it's a cool idea, but like,
did you
there's
like
been a lot of rumors of the MCU and has like, never.
Did you like Ironheart with? I mean, I guess spoilers out of the bag. Mephisto's in it, right? I've seen images.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't.
Did you like the way he was portrayed?
He was decent to what he was given for. Like, obviously, I want to see more of the portrayal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he was decent for what he was given for. So, if it ever happens, we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
What about Doctor Strange against Mephisto? Is that who you'd want to see out of the MCU go against Mephisto? I think Doctor Strange is one of the coolest ones to go against. But I would say with Midnight Suns, though,
yeah, Midnight
together,
Suns
not just Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Azteca Aguilar IV. The original idea for the fourth Mummy film was with Brendan Fraser was supposed to be set in Mexico and dealing with Mexican, aka Aztec mummies. That's awesome.
That would have been cool, but
At least I'm winning the bet. Am I winning against Sean O'Rourke? I don't know. We'll see. This is amazing. So this is an internet win today. This is the most triggering headline I've ever seen based on anti-SJW outrage and Trump fanboys. I'm not calling them MAGA anymore because I don't believe they are putting America's interests first. I think they're putting Trump's interests first, and they're Trump fanboys. So I love the way that Allison Wilmore, you're a star. Amazing. Superman isn't trying to be political. We just have real life supervillains now.
Oh, that is a beautiful title for an article.
Holy shirt.
I gotta give it to her.
I wish I could come up with something that triggering. Holy crap.
I saw it trigger a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Epic troll.
100
and not even troll, it's truth. It's truth. We have real life supervillains.
Oh.
Yeah, there's people in the
lying,
real
bro.
there's people around politics that are worse than supervillains.
There was a senator, like it was sentenced for it was a senator that just got sent in jail. So 7
years.
Yeah, bro, yeah. Oof. Good luck. But he's not lying. He's not. Oh damn, nice. Ooh,
Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out in a week.
Looks dope.
These images look amazing. That there's sequences 4K, not just HD. 4K.
Oh, so 4K. Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, Switch 2's 4K docked. So there's also sequences here where you get to ride a rhino, just like in Donkey Kong Country. Mm-hmm. There's a sequence there with in the snow where you're rolling a big snowball. It looks like. Look at the facial expressions on Donkey Kong while Pauline's riding on the back. And there's characters from Donkey Kong Country. So anyone that was concerned that you're not going to get enough of old school Donkey Kong lore and Easter eggs, I think this game has it covered. I think there's enough there. There's also Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong riding
Diddy Kong.
Yeah. So we're in for a treat. This I actually was I'm going to bring this up here. I was actually pretty upset with James Gunn the way he did this here because it makes me think this article here, which I'm going to bring up, makes me think that part of the reason that Superman, the Clark and Lois stuff is so good is David Cornsweet himself.
Yeah, he's always
and then I don't like this. Like, I know people that work with James Gunn like him a lot, but I don't like this quote here. David Cornsweet would ask one question too many on Superman's set because I think he was really taking this seriously, and not take it personally when James Gunn said "shut the f up." Some actors are sensitive. David's not that way. So I think he's trying to promote that, you know, Corn Sweat has got a thick skin and he could take it.
Well,
But I don't like that. I would.
Yeah. Well, I know James in the past said like I'm not working with direct actors who are just assholes. Which I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised. That's most of the directors do that. Like if you being a, you know, if you being an asshole, I'm not gonna work with you. With all due respect, you get the hell out of there. Sorry, bro. I don't. Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, some. If you ask way too many questions, some directors will definitely.
Well, no, but he's taking it seriously, and you know, the scenes that David had a lot of. Let's be real, character moments are what the actor has the most control over, not the action sequences, right? Because you're in the character, you have a lot of dialogue to focus on. You have a co-star that you can have an intimate scene with, like with Rachel Brosnahan and Lois. That's where actors really shine. I'm not saying the director is irrelevant there. Direction is ultimately important. But when I hear this, I feel like David was taken really seriously, David and Rachel Brosnahan. And I think that's the best parts of the movie. And when I hear James Gunn say "shut the f up" to David Cornsweet, it kind of pisses me off. I'm like, well, what did David Cornsweet have to say that maybe would have made this movie better for Superman? You know, I know he's trying to give him credit for thick skin, but watch your background noise, please.
Oh my bad.
They formed the kind relationship as the director and star of Superman. I don't see saying "shut the f up" as kind. I know people, you know, friends throw little jabs there. I think in a lot of ways, James and I are made for each other. Cornsweet told the publication, James has this habit of, as you're working on the scene, he'll sit back by the monitors on the God mic and he'll yell directions at you, which is not how directors generally work. You usually do the scene, they say cut, and then they come and say privately and quietly, I love that moment where you did this. What if we tried something else in the next one? Cornsweet
He's not lying about that. Do see behind the scenes the videos and directors always do that. So he's right for sure.
Cornsweet said Gunn's yelling is something that would throw lots of actors off, and understandably so, but not him. The second that happened, I went, okay, this is going to be great because I have no idea what I'm doing. I desperately need a director, the actor admitted. I need a director who knows what they want and is willing to say it out loud without too much politeness and without beating around the bush. If I'm no good, tell me I'm no good, and then let's work together to make me good. Cornsweet said this push and pull came to define his relationship with Gunn, especially when it came to the amount of questions the actor asked during production. After we finished shooting, we were hanging out, and James affectionately, I think, described me, Cornsweet said, as having said a very nice thing. You're a filmmaker, and so you want to be involved in the filmmaking, and you want to help make the film as good as possible. Then he said, I think you're also a kid sticking his finger in light sockets, and something I got to slap you on the wrist and say, stop effing doing that. I don't like that. I like a
I mean, to be fair, like it is his first movie. No. He done 2 movies, but like not like this is his big.
No, I'm not making James Gunn a villain or anything like that. I'm just saying I prefer that, and I'm sending RJ a link. I prefer like what happens when actors and directors collaborate. I think it's pretty offensive that he says you're like a kid sticking his finger in a light socket when you have an idea for the character or the film, or yelling. That's not the type of environment I like. Honestly, I'm not condemning James Gunn at all, but I got to say this is the first time behind the scenes that I'm like, I don't like that. Hey, RJ, how's it going?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm not like condemning. I still like James Gunn a lot. I just don't like the way I don't like this article about the way him and Cornsweet were behind the set.
This is natural actor-director relations.
No, it's not natural. It's different vibe, different takes, different ways to interact. There's some directors that are very, they want to know what their actors think of the scene. They want to know, but suggesting that you're like a kid sticking his finger in a light socket and says, stop effing doing that. I mean, that is a way to do it. I don't like that type of collaboration, honestly. I like a more back and forth, building each other up together, input both, going both ways.
Did they
not a
get
one-way
along
street.
on set?
Listen, RJ, you're
Did
absolutely right.
the movie get done the way that they
you're
wanted it
right.
to?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Push back on me. They're not disgruntled. David Cornswet has nothing but nice things to say. It worked for them. It worked for them. My personal preference is I don't like to hear this type of stuff. But ultimately, the movie, they're both happy with the movie. David Cornswet has an amazing career. He's now Superman. But this type of thing lends me to believe that I think we could have got better Superman interactions if we would have had more of a flow of ideas instead of a one-way direction, you know. But oh my God, Callie, get over here. Here, get over here, Callie. How are you doing today, RJ?
I'm doing good. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me bring this down here. My dog is driving me insane again. I made this whole streaming room down here, and she's just like she was because the cat's upstairs. Callie, please get over here. Please. Come here, Callie. Stop barking. Okay. All right, but you know, other people don't have a problem with it. That's fine. That's no problem. When RJ's here, I wanted to get his idea because he's seen Superman, about what he thinks about. Well, I had the topic before. Let me bring this up here.
What's up?
I wanted to get to you. I wanted to get to you. Me and Anthony talked about this already, but I wanted to see. Now that you've seen, hold on. Oh, this too. But the main thing I wanted to ask you is, now that you've seen Superman and where you think it's going next, I think I was wrong about World's Finest. I think this is a bigger launching pad for Justice League International, Justice Gang. You're going to see these actors all over the place, more so than Superman. And I think that is what James Gunn is writing. Justice League International, I think, actually versus the Legion of Doom. Because, not to get spoilers in here, but my issues with Lex in this movie kind of dissipate if I think about him as Lex heading up the Legion of Doom. And there's sort of like a proto Justice League International group in here called the Justice Gang, and also a proto Legion of Doom as well. So I really think that's where we're going, and that's what we're going to probably get at Comic-Con. I don't know if they're going to announce. They do have Hall H at Comic-Con San Diego.
Probably not at Comic-Con, no.
But New York Comic-Con. I heard
maybe.
I heard that Millie Alcock's going to be there.
Well, there were murmurs that they're going to do something for Supergirl at a New York Comic-Con later this year.
So I want to ask you, RJ, now that you've seen it, now that you have the whole context of the movie, what do you think is going to be James Gunn's project that he's writing next? His next project he's writing and directing. I don't think it's going to be Superman 2. I don't think it's going to be World's Finest. I would put my money on Justice League International, or maybe they'll call it Justice Gang, but I think just Justice League International.
I could see it being like the Terrifics.
The Terrific? I don't know. Oh, Rhea's here. Hey, Rhea. That's a question I wanted to ask my pal Rhea too. What do you think James Gunn's going to work on next? Superman 2, World's Finest. I think Justice League International. RJ just said the Terrifics, but you could have the Terrifics within Justice League International too, though, right?
Yeah, I guess you could, yeah.
I mean, if you're thinking about big, okay, maybe they would have done Justice. Maybe they would have done the Terrifics. Maybe they would have done the Authority. Maybe the Authority is morphing into the Legion of Doom, and the Authority is going to be it's going to be both in there, you know?
I think the Authority, that's still going to happen, like
animated.
Separately. No, I think it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen later down the road, but I still think it's gonna happen.
I think if you follow up Superman with the Terrifics, though, that's like a downgrade of epicness.
Not
You kind of have to
necessarily.
have
Depends on how,
forward
depends on how you.
momentum.
It
I think the
depends on how you
Terrifics
position
could
it,
be a
though.
great streaming show.
Well, it
Another
depends on how you
straight,
position it, though.
huh?
Well, it depends how you position it, though. I mean, it could
Well, I
be
mean,
epic if you
if
do it the right
Superman
way.
makes a lot of money, going back to Terrifics, I don't think would be a big. I mean, it could be a big blockbuster movie. I don't think so, though.
Well, again, it just depends on how you present it.
Do you think what do you think about my speculation? Is that I really think that's where we're going. I think this was a bigger launching pad for the Justice Gang than for Superman himself, and you're going to see the characters cameo way more.
Well, you're gonna see all these characters pop up again,
but not Superman as much.
No, you're gonna see Superman a lot.
Remains to be seen. I'll be happy if it happens. But you're going to see Mr. Terrific. You're going to see Hawk Girl for sure in season 2.
Well, yeah, we know
Peacemaker.
we know those characters are going to be showing up sooner because of Peacemaker season 2.
And I think if you were a little underwhelmed,
Superman's a big character. There's no way he's not going to be around.
No. I understand that, but I think James Gunn's DC is going to thrive more with the B characters than the AAA characters. I think they're still going to be there. They're still going to have their moments. They're still going to have their movies. But it's just preference. James Gunn's jam is these interesting other characters. I'm not saying he does that at the detriment of the main characters. That's just his focus. Because Superman was still Superman in this movie. He still had really great moments, But I think that's James Gunn's strength. And that's his jam. And that's what some people want. That might be better. That might be more successful,
Well, I think you're going to obviously, they're going to introduce a multitude of characters, but I don't think that the focus is still going to be on the A-listers because the A-listers are what moves the needle. They're the driving force. I mean, but the whole point is that you have these A-lister characters get their shine so they can help the other characters get recognition.
I'm going to put Callie away with a biscuit. I'll be right back with a crypto biscuit. Actually, I have to visit Bruce. He has a bunch of boxes from all those comic books with crypto on it.
No, he sold them.
No, he didn't. Are you making that up?
No, I'm joking.
All right, you're going to mess with Callie's free biscuits? Not cool, Anthony.
Damn, what a dog hater. Dog hater.
No, you gotta be a dog hater sometimes, Damn, so I guess Superman's making 120 million. That's tough.
That's pretty solid, actually.
I mean, it's good. It's good for sure. Superman in the general audience, they don't view him as ever.
I mean,
it happens when Men is Still had a great cinema score. It had an 8. Probably James Gunn is going to get an A cinema score, like the same as Superman.
Given the circumstances of where stuff is at, and just kind of where,
Mm-hmm.
I think 115 to 130 is pretty good. I mean, that's good.
I am going to go see it again. I'm hoping that now that my expectations are gone, I'll probably increase it to a 7, maybe instead of a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just have fun with it. And actually, I'm going to go in and just focus on really getting hyped for Justice Gang and Justice League International, because I do want to see that. I will say though, if you're going to compare the Justice Gang characters that are in Superman to Black Adam and Justice Society, I think besides Guy Gardner, I don't know, Mr. Terrific was pretty terrific. I really like Dr. Fate and Black Adam and Hawkman.
He was cool.
That's another character I want to see. Yeah, Dr. Fate.
Yeah. So I think that was the part of the strongest part of Black Adam. All right, let's get to Rhea's comments here. I think the Terrifics makes a lot of sense for Gunn. I also think we'll see a larger gap between his projects when Supergirl, Lanterns, and Clayface drop. Okay. That's already 2 years, and then maybe you'll get a Wonder Woman project by then. The Batman would still need to come out first, too, I think. Okay. And then I asked Anthony in the chat, and I know you don't know what I said here. now that you've seen Superman, and it's not going to happen, they're not going to bring back characters from the previous verses. But if there was one character and actor that you would bring back, or actress that you would bring back for James Gunn that would fit well within the Justice Gang and what he's forming, who would it be? One character. You can only do one that would fit well within the vibe of what we see on Superman. I have the perfect answer. Is it that hard?
Yeah, because I really don't think there's any characters that really work to bring back.
Oh, there's one that really works well.
Who?
Well, you at least got to do a shot. Say someone that would fit the most out of all the previous versions.
Like of all DC or just the DC?
That's fine. You could even go back to Michael Keaton. You could go back to Green Lantern with whoever.
Grant Gustin's Flash. There you go.
Okay. I actually say that Ezra Miller
Flash
would be
perfect.
Would be perfect for the Justice Gang going against Guy Gardner. The humor is on point. Listen,
we do not need that. No, we are good.
No, why? Just because the controversy?
I'm good off seeing Ezra again. I'm good.
Oh no. Ezra was the best part of the Flash was his humor. He was so legit. And honestly, that's the one character. Those the two characters we haven't heard enough about within James Gunn is how he's going to bring in Aquaman and the Flash.
Probably because it's going to be a minute.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a minute.
I would actually prefer Ezra Miller's The Flash to interact with the Justice Gang than Grant Gustin's The Flash. Although I would still be up for that.
I'd rather see Grant as Jay Garrick. That would be a better role, like him playing Jay Garrick type of mentor to a younger Flash, Barry Allen or Wild West-esque Flash.
For a character, I want to see Cyborg, but not Ray Fisher's Cyborg does not fit within this because we know about the controversy about Booyah. In James Gunn's universe, you got to say your tagline.
Yeah.
And it's, but
I am
100% dead serious.
Like, I don't hate the tagline. It's just that it was forced. At that time, it was just forced as hell.
Yeah. I think perfect because he was the one character within Zack Snyder's universe that was a little different tone.
Oh yeah, it was you felt for him. Like it was, yeah, he saw his father die, his mother died in a car accident. So like he's the only one that survived that being that luck.
Yeah.
So, and his father giving bless.
Daniel Martin says Jason Momoa's Aquaman fits perfectly with this tone. Yeah, I agree I think Ezra Miller's is better. And Jason Momoa prefers to be Lobo now, but I think there is a vibe where Aquaman would fit good too. I think that's the second character that would fit the best within this version. I could see Aquaman fitting in here too, like Jason Momoa's Aquaman.
Yeah,
I think decent.
Well, not now since he's Lobo, unfortunately. So
yeah,
and he was the first job that James Gunn gave him.
Batman gonna buy the Hall of Justice from Maxwell Lord?
I mean, probably. I wouldn't be surprised unless Superman rob a bank.
Reyes cheating and bringing back the Wonder Twins.
Oh, those
they didn't. Are you saying that because they canceled it? But the Wonder Twins fits more within this universe than the previous.
It does,
one,
yeah, it does. It does actually.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's possible. Yeah. I do think Blue Beetle for sure because I know they said he's probably coming anyway. Blue Beetle fits within this universe too.
But no, they're recording his animated series right now. So
yeah, I think Blue Beetle would definitely work for this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The older Blue Beetle from Justice Society. I mean, well, technically, the Justice Society has to exist in James Gunn universe since they've been around for 300 years. So
spoilers.
It's not a spoiler. James Gunn said this in an interview, though.
Be careful, though, Anthony.
James Gunn is spoiling.
Hashtag blame Beltry was last night. You really.
Yeah, my bad. It's just James Gunn said in an interview. Yeah, they've been around for a long time. So like.
I know, just pull it.
Obviously, the Justice Society had to exist with the older people, so stuff like that. You know. No,
All right,
Wonder
let me.
Woman. Hopefully, I just want to see Wonder Woman again.
All right,
I'm
so RJ, do you think it's accurate? I think on both ends of the scale, people that love Superman that've seen it already, and people that dislike it, they both agree that it's like I know people are going to go so sick of hearing comic booky and like a live action superhero cartoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
For people that are for it and against it, they both. So I posed the question in the poll. Now there's been other Justice League cartoons, but these are the two most popular. Do you think this is more Super Friends or Justice League Unlimited?
I'd say JLU.
I want that, and that's my jam. And I don't disparage Super Friends for what it was, but Super Friends walked so Justice League Unlimited could run, and I think that's the jam. But here's my thing. I think James Gunn's got the nostalgia bug, just like our pal Joe and other people. And I think Super Friends is their jam. So
yeah, I'm sure Super Friends is an influence for sure.
yeah.
I don't think anyone would argue that's not.
No, so I think that's what we're getting, more Super Friends, which I'm not against. It's just my jam would be Justice League Unlimited, I think that the more epic storytelling there's like huge multi-arc episodes. And then Angry Joe show, I watched his review today. He said it is like a live action cartoon, but he was more brutal than I was. He said, but it's like the filler episodes. It's not the good stuff. I hope
but he still ended up, he said he's above average. Like you just had some problems with it. And I understood where he was coming from with his critiques for sure.
So I hope I'm wrong. My speculation is where I think James Gunn is a huge fan, just like Joe, of the classic DC. And maybe you can make that work with the younger generations because things come around, like Justice League Unlimited is an old cartoon series now, that's not, I love Teen Titans, but Teen Titans Go. Some people that love Teen Titans hate Teen Titans Go, but Teen Titans Go and those shorts and stuff, they do pretty well too, So Super Friends might be the better way to go. My jam would be if you're going to do live action, really inspired by the animated Justice League Unlimited. But RJ thinks I'm incorrect. He believes that is what they're going for.
Well, I've always said DCAU.
What's that?
Well, I've always said it's felt like DCAU.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I do got to go though. I have to get up early tomorrow morning because I'm going out of town. So,
okay, yeah. Are you going to? Are you allowed to say where you're going? Or convention, right?
No.
He's going to see Superman.
Well, I'm going to go see Superman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm going to a convention this weekend. So
awesome.
He's seen Tom Holland.
Any panels that or guests that you're really looking forward to?
Yeah. I'm gonna be meeting Elijah Wood. I'm gonna be meeting the Weasley twins. I'll be meeting all the Supermen. So it'll be fun.
That's
awesome. You and your dad going together, or
yeah, we're going together. We've gone the last 2 years.
It's great that you spent a lot of time with your dad.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But I'll talk to you guys later.
Yes. All right, see you, RJ. Yes, we're still live.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's 12:09. So I mean, at least a couple minutes we'll be on.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna. We're probably gonna wrap it up soon though, because I don't have much in the mailbag. I forgot to post it late.
Sure. Yes.
See what else is happening. Although I've come to terms with what James Gunn's is. I actually I am going to consistently say I'm the most unbiased and brutally honest movie pundit here. I believe that, and that's what I'm striving for. And until I get there, so I'm not like in it now with James Gunn's DC, but I want it to succeed, and I like the characters. But I'm not like, I'm more excited for MCU now. And I'm actually, where I was excited more for James Gunn's stuff, I'm more excited for Matt Reeves to come back in Batman 2 now. But that might change after I see Peacemaker season 2, I'm the most unbiased CJH. I don't care because I'm not a fanboy for Gunn. I wanted to go into this and be a fanboy. I wanted to go full Gunn nut. It didn't happen. So I'm actually more objective than a super Gunn fan. You know, I'm not doing the cringy hashtags, locked and loaded and stuff on, you know, I'm not doing all that. So I want it to succeed, and I'll be able to be more objective than super Gunn fans for the next projects. So yeah. All right, let me bring up X here. But I'm really excited now for the Batman 2, where I'm not excited for what James Gunn does next, especially Rhea says, I'm still convinced this is a Jurassic Summer, but I want to see everything when.
I mean, Jurassic was like the mid. Like, it was
CGH, I will be kind to you here. I love you, man, but you're getting kind of aggressive towards me, referring to my content as slop content. No. I know there is some. You have to be careful. If you do reactionary content, you have to be transformative. You just assuming that I have slop content and I'm not transformative or have enough commentary is insulting. But I still love you. And that's not me. When I do reaction content, I actually get comments that I can't shut up. And that's the reason I do it, because people don't know, I've been doing this for quite a long time, including on my wife's channel. And I know you have to be transformative. And I was prepped for this. And I don't listen to commenters that say, just watch the trailer all the way through and just nod. That's the type of reactionary content. But will I change it up for reactions content? Probably I will do less of the whole trailer. Or if I do a music video, I won't play the whole music video. There's things that I could do that'd be even more transformative. So I'm not concerned yet. And the moment that big channels that do reaction content, a lot of the biggest YouTube channels out here do reaction content, are very successful. The moment they have an issue, you're going to hear about it. So I think it's more that reuse TikTok videos for shorts, that do just upload clips from movies without any commentary or editing. And if you do reaction content, you can't just press play and go. Did you ever see a reaction video where they press play and like, oh, wow. And that's the whole reaction? That's the type that should be concerned. That don't pause and just, you know. So you're concerned for yourself. Don't place your worries on me, bro. You're not a faceless channel. You know, start a new channel then. Start a new channel. We'll help you build it up. I will help you. As long as you're not a grifter. Yeah, and it's not. And the other thing for concern is if that's the entirety of your channel. Some channels get lots of subscribers because that's all they do. On MME, you get variety. We do so many things here. So I'm not concerned yet. I am cautious about it for sure. Dr. Strange. I need to get you back on the show. I really enjoyed your last speculation, Dr. Strange. Hit me up next week. My old content, I didn't do that either because I've been doing YouTube longer than any of you. I helped my wife with her channel. I worked directly with companies, toy companies, and I know what to do. My wife was on an MCN, a multi-channel network. I know all the ins and outs. I am no longer going to ask for my respect. I'm demanding my respect. I'm not going to be treated like I've been doing this for quite some time. I have had access as well before. Limited access, but I know how this shit works. So, let me see. I've been waiting longer for Mortal Kombat 2 than the Batman 2. You mean the movie Mortal Kombat 2? I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a surprise hit. I think it's going to be the most fun this year. I don't think it's going to be an amazing movie. I think it's going to way overperform the first one. Carl Urban, I love him. The images we get with Katana and Shao Kahn, you know, are great. Variety Hour with Max. Okay. All right, let me bring this up here. Let's go through my X feed real quick. See what else is here. Oh yeah, I have 1 week left. I'm so glad I played Super Mario Odyssey before I played this, because no spoilers, but those that were interested in playing Super Mario Odyssey, I completely know why they went with Donkey Kong, because the same developers. Because I don't know if it's a spoiler, but the end of Mario Odyssey, I don't want to spoil it for people that are going to play it soon, but I will. Spoiler warning for the end of Mario Odyssey, okay? At the end of Mario Odyssey, the mechanic in Mario Odyssey is you throw Mario's Cappy on different things and you become them. I didn't know you throw your cap on Bowser. And then Bowser, you get to play as Bowser wrecking stuff that looks very similar to Donkey Kong. And then you also have Peach on his shoulder, like Pauline is on Donkey Kong's shoulder for right in this lower image. It's so good. You know? So that really beating Mario Odyssey and doing that and there's like end game stuff. There's even more stuff to do after you beat it. But that end level where you get to play as Bowser, I'm like, oh, I totally know why they did Donkey Kong next. You know, I'd actually like them to do a Bowser game too. But yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Let me see what else here. I love following Ice-T. Okay, so according to IMAX for Fantastic Four First Steps, you know, you ever watch an IMAX movie where the screen ratio changes?
Had it,
yeah. Okay, so this may be the best implementation of screen ratio change. They're saying every time Galactus comes on screen, the ratio changes to go huge for IMAX for Galactus.
That's good.
That sounds like an extremely effective way to use IMAX. Now, I prefer that they just do full IMAX ratio the whole movie. Yeah, but if you do that ratio change, you know, when they change from regular screen ratio to IMAX, I love it when they do really intriguing and interesting ways. And when you have the Fantastic Four on screen and then Galactus comes in to wreck shit and it goes full IMAX screen ratio, that sounds amazing. And I can't wait to see that. So
that sounds very lovely. I love that. Hopefully they include it on the IMAX on Blu-ray disc when it comes out.
So
I swear that he did.
Kathy Kennedy fails again. This is another Kathy Kennedy failed topic.
I mean, nothing to.
Well, at least, yeah. Well, listen.
I'm not gonna call her.
Can I finish?
Like,
can I?
This is the same thing. He did the same thing to Lucasfilm. Like,
no, it's not him.
Do the same
whoa,
James Gunn.
Anthony, do not blame this director for Godzilla. Blame Kathy Kennedy.
I'm not gonna blame her. He did the same thing. He's gonna do the same thing.
You won't even let me set up the topic, Anthony.
I'm sorry.
It
doesn't mean anything to me, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
He visited a studio. They had Star Wars Celebration in Japan and no announcements with this amazing director that's award contention for Godzilla -1. And he said, I want to do Star Wars. So he visited the studio. Now, will James Gunn make the same mistakes as Kathy Kennedy? I hope not. I don't think so. I think now, it doesn't necessarily mean anything if he visits a studio. But I think if you have something you can use this director for, you try. You know?
Yeah, I mean, look, I like him to do something DC, sure, but like
although I heard there's the one series with what's that Mantis actress's name?
Huntress.
Yeah, she's gonna play Huntress, and that's gonna be a different.
Yeah, but that's already got a director on it.
Yeah,
like, you know. No, so I would like to, but yeah.
So the Godzilla -1 director is visiting DC Studios. He may meet with James Gunn. It could be nothing.
I watched the video. Like
I think James Gunn is nothing to do with the gender. I'm not, because I know all the fanboys out there are like, Max is going on Kathy because she's a woman. That has nothing to do with it. I think James Gunn may be a little bit more intelligent with opportunities to take up this director. I think everyone should be searching out this director. He films on a budget. He does a great work. He's award contention, and he wants to work in Hollywood. And I hope he gets the chance. It could be nothing. He could just be visiting James Gunn. But I hope some project comes with this for sure.
Yeah, hopefully, but it's just the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna get to sleep.
James Mango's doing Swamp Thing. And we know James Mango takes his sweet ass time for whatever movie he's gonna write next.
Mm-hmm.
Like you literally say, "Oh, I'm either doing Swamp Thing or I'm doing the Star Wars movie," which he's probably gonna pick the Star Wars movie and then do Swamp Thing. It's also like James is not in a rush to do Swamp Thing, so like, it's like whatever.
Well, here's how the Terrifics would look. We already got Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific. We just need these other two characters. Plastic Man, and I don't know who this girl character is. I have no idea. Yes, it's very plausible, but I just think they're already. I would say, why are you going to put them make the Terrifics? Like, why would Terrifics be a project when? Well, I guess that's a spoiler. I don't want to say, but Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho have already interacted together.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily think you need the Terrifics after you have the Justice Gang. Okay, let's see here. Oh, all right. James Gunn. I hope this is true. Is James Gunn trying to bring over talent from the MCU with like Ryan Coogler? He said well, let me set it up first, Anthony. You got it. I love you, bro. You're really helping me on the channel, but you got to let me set up things before you respond, okay? Because it does good on the clip out. So, is James Gunn meeting with Ryan Coogler? Is he trying to poach talent from Marvel, from Feige? I think if you got a shot for Ryan Coogler, you definitely take it. I don't know if Ryan Coogler would need to do that. Ryan Coogler doesn't need anyone anymore. No, Ryan Coogler is the brand himself. He really is.
Well, I like him to do DC Shore, but like I clicked the link and he was just talking about how the Black Panther premiere was similar to like Superman and stuff like that. So he was talking to Ryan Coogler about that. I mean, sure, he'd be dope, but like at the same time, I'd rather see, Coogler do his own original work and keep doing that.
Yeah, because
he's his own brand now. He could do whatever the hell. Yeah, he could do
well, see, the thing is, Coogler, as a director, as comic book directors go, if you're talking about like Coogler, James Gunn, Zack Snyder, Coogler has surpassed both Zack Snyder and James Gunn because not only does he get amazing results on IP work itself, but his original IP is fire. Zack Snyder, I like Rebel Moon. I liked Army of the Dead, but they're not lighting the world on fire. I still enjoy them. I still have fun with them. James Gunn's done some things outside of superhero movies with limited success. I'd like to see him. The one downside of James Gunn being the head of DC is, when's he ever going to do a movie that's not superhero related again? Because I think he's got more stories to tell that aren't superheroes, But Ryan Coogler does not need DC at all, unless Ryan Coogler has an idea for DC that he wants to do.
I think after Black Panther 3, obviously he's gonna produce some stuff for the MCU, but other than that, like after that, I think he's just gonna do original work. I probably do an adaptation of a. He probably is gonna do adaptation of a book that we never heard of, stuff like that, or a well-known book. So like I like
Pete Davidson as Plastic Man is actually a good casting. I think that'd be really good.
He'd be funny as hell. But
And he
like,
was already in the Suicide Squad. So
yeah, well, he died.
yeah,
Yeah,
easy recast as Plastic Man.
easy recast as hell. Yeah, so yeah, Brian Coogler, whatever he does next, I'll be there, original work. You know, he's home. He's in his own brand and stuff like that. You know, Brian Coogler already surprised J.J. Abrams, so you know, and he hasn't done anything in 6 years. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he said honestly,
yeah,
he
he's doing X-Files right
this
now.
is his
You know.
time, right? He'll be busy with X-Files, Black Panther 3 probably,
Yep.
because Marvel's just dumping loads of cash at him for Black Panther 3.
Yeah, they told him take your sweet ass time, man. You could do whatever you want. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bell, he really props up his crew and his cinematographer and stuff. Oh yeah. I'm all on board the Ryan Coogler train now. Even though I really enjoyed Sinners a lot.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much as other people do, but I love his branding and the way everyone's well rewarded and represented across the board, behind and in front of the camera.
Yep.
And anything he's interested in. And now I'm like I honestly, if they were going to do a continuation of the Sinners universe or X-Files, I'm more interested in X-Files. But
yeah,
I would totally see this whatever happens in Sinners next.
Yeah, like yes. Now I want to see what he's gonna do with the X-Files series what he got upcoming. He's definitely gonna cook like crazy.
Sometimes I retweet food.
That tastes good. That's funny.
All right. I think that's it. Oh, there's those.
Check out Ray Review on Twitter and on YouTube.
I'll post it. I didn't mean to bring it up now, but here we'll how many views is it up to? 10K. I'm actually jealous, Ray. Your reviews are getting a lot more.
Well, yeah, because people on YouTube want to see what's everybody.
But I posted it on X too. But here, go support Ray's review. I was really surprised. She's ready to put that out there. Go check it out. And let me bring up the mailbag because CJH put something in there. Let me see.
My bad.
Hold on. Perp is still, the Perp boys are still talking about me while I'm streaming. Man, they go a long time.
No, they're not talking about you. They're talking about movies right now.
Oh, did they go over my video?
Yeah, a long time ago, like 25, 30 minutes ago.
Oh, we do have some mailback. Thank you, CJH. Oh, we do have some mailback. I'm really getting into doing reviews now, and I like healthy competition with my friends too. Like I saw your review, check out mine, and competing scores. I'm really getting into competitive reviewing. So I really am. I like it. It's enjoyable. I am gonna go see Fantastic Four day one if I can. I don't know if I should get the tickets now. Should I get the tickets now? I might have to look at getting tickets now.
Depends where you are.
Because I want to do more reviews. Okay. That would be awesome, CJH. All right. Oh, really? That's great. RJ shared your review. Yeah, RJ's got a big reach. Like, I don't even know why RJ comes around here anymore. I'm honestly like, he's bigger than I am.
Well, social media. Now he's having.
Yeah. He's more. RJ is more relevant than I am.
He's doing a good job.
Sure.
On social media, yeah.
Yes. 100K views on his social media reaction. All right. So.
Yeah, good for him.
Saddened to hear the OG Doctor Doom passed. I was hoping in return for Secret Wars. Rest in peace. Yes, and I don't want to even jinx anything, but it's really weird how you get like movies or reboots or sequels or something, and when you have a character that's recast or something, sometimes an old person, an older entertainer that played that character before passes right before release. It's happened multiple
Yeah,
times.
he
It really
got,
creeps me out. It really creeps
yeah,
me out.
he had cancer. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cancer's rough.
Yes.
That's another reason I'm trying to get healthy. I have a lot of health issues in my family that I'm just like, I got to get healthy now in case something comes my way, you know?
It's really rough, man. Cancer, like, having one, even if you're husband or wife or something like that, it's a very tough situation in your family member. If your family member have one, be with them every day until it lasts. Don't know.
Phil is here. Hey, Phil, I reached out to Unfiltered because I was like, I want to collab with him, but he's busy on Fridays with his show. I was thinking, like, I've seen other YouTubers do this, a crossover show where we stream at the same time called Unfiltered Madness. You have the prime spot because you already have your Unfiltered show of Madness. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine. We could work out something else. But I actually want to work with you because you trigger people with your takes too. I like you, but you also have hot takes that get people talking. So I was thinking Unfiltered Madness.
His hot takes,
right.
For no reason.
So that's great. That means you're relevant, right?
Well,
it got quite toxic on purpose. It always is toxic with the Perp Boys, but that was my idea, Phil. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow it on stream, but that's what I was thinking. Oh, really? Oh, Phil, that's the thing I wanted to do. Oh man. You know what? I'm going to save it. Because I was thinking about reacting to my rare Aaron Fisher, my review of Superman. And I was going to do a video of that, but I'm saving it just in case someone wants to react with me on that. Because I'm not going to watch it until I see his reaction. I can't wait to see it. But I will watch Phil's. I want to watch your review, Phil, for sure. So that Daniel Martin says you did a good job. Awesome. Okay. All right. So I do want to get, I'm reaching out to other YouTubers. Potion Sword Run is probably going to be helping me with this channel, and Phil for now. And then I'm going to try to make my rounds with great content creators. Yes, I will, CJH, but the focus now is getting movie reviews. Okay. All right, so there may be a potential spoiler here in one of CJH's comments, so I'll just give everyone a heads up for Superman. What if Fantastic Four opens up with Galactus and ending of Rise of Silver Surfer, with Cloud Galactus surviving and becoming the real Galactus we've seen in this universe? There's supposed to be one Galactus where he comes from a previous universe. The female Silver Surfer said she was there at the start of their universe, which means Galactus was too. And even crazier if Galactus decided to go after Silver Surfer's wife, this female Silver Surfer, after he betrayed him at the end of the last movie. I mean, I would be up for that. That's really a reach of speculation, CJH. I would be cool to see that. I don't think they're gonna have any other reference to the previous Fantastic Four universe except for the Deadpool part of the MCU with the Human Torch there, but I would, I mean, if they did that, I'd be cool with that. All right, here, I'm disappointed to hear my Nightmare Superman theory isn't true for Ultraman. I can't comment on that. See, I will say this: I didn't hate the Ultraman thing. I didn't. I didn't love it though either. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I could see why people don't like it. So
yeah. I will say they changed something. I mean, we could talk. I could be careful when I talk about Jarrell. I'm not going to say who Jarrell is or anything.
It's already been confirmed.
Yeah. So I love the Fortress of Solitude.
Mm-hmm.
Something they do with Jarrell, I really don't like, and I hope it's not true.
Oh yes.
No, don't say anything, Anthony. Don't say anything. Stop there.
No, I say that. Yeah, so people online complaining about.
No, I don't like that. Yeah. I think it's lame. Yeah. I think it's lazy and it's stupid what they did with that. With Like, I think one of the strengths of Man of Steel and previous versions of Superman was how much they lean on
Jor-El.
Superman, Clark and
Yeah.
Jor-El in the Fortress of Solitude, learning about Krypton and learning about his parents and how they loved him and what they intended for him. And what happens in this movie is bullshit. And it might be the thing is, it could also be a joke and not legit. And it's hard to know which way they're going to take it. You know, I hope it's not real, is my take. All right. Without saying what it is. And I will love to elaborate that on when I do a spoiler topic on it. Do you think Doctor Doom appears in the post credits of Fantastic Four? I would say 50-50 on that one.
We'll see. We'll find out in 3 weeks. In
Yeah.
2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say 50-50. He could go either way on that. I think just having Galactus there in the flesh and not a fart cloud is enough for the Fantastic Four. And you're gonna get Doomsday and Doom and Doomsday. So I think they should do some really cool cameos for sure. Phil knows what I'm talking about. I audibly laughed out loud when that reveal happened because certain fans will give Gunn a pass for it. Yeah. That's why I'm no fanboy anymore of any Grant fan group. No director. I'm a fan of them, but I'm not a fanboy. There's a difference. I'm a fan of directors, but I'm still critical and objective as possible. 100% objective, 100% no bias is impossible, right? But that's something to strive for. So I'm not part of any fan groups anymore. I'm even letting go of release the Batgirl. I would love Batgirl released. I'm not carrying that hashtag anymore. Are you excited for Fantastic Four after Superman, or are you still wanting edgy Fantastic? I don't. This is you're insulting me again, CJH.
Yeah, that's not crazy.
I don't like when people dumb down people's opinions that you just like edgy. You just can't take a joke.
Yeah, that's funny.
I prefer depth, epicness,
that's
and I don't like it when jokes are, in my personal subjective opinion, jokes take the forefront over storytelling. Like, because my criticisms of James Gunn is that if there's a joke or a great story moment or an epic action sequence, he will put the joke at the priority. Whereas Zack Snyder's the opposite. Sometimes there could be a good opportunity for a joke or great dialogue sequence, and he will put the action sequence at the forefront. You know? So I don't just want edgy Fantastic Four. I like the fun of Chris Evans' Human Torch.
Yeah, I'm not trying
I will say more recent clips of Human Torch have been better, and I've been getting more.
Yeah, I'm not trying to see the body horror and femme stick we got in 2015. I'm good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was awful. Oh my god, I keep seeing clips of that movie on my timeline on Twitter. I was like, no, please, we're not gonna do that movie's a masterpiece in 2025. Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to see that. Hell no.
Do you think?
I'm fine. No, I'm not trying to see stick.
Do you think general audiences are done with Batman if they recast yet again? I was asking around. People are sick of remaking it again.
No.
And could it hurt DCU if Robert isn't Batman?
No.
They're gonna find a way to keep making Batman projects.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, everybody know. Every time there's a new Batman, everybody knows who it is. Everybody show their support because the general audience doesn't care because they only show up for Batman. I remember when I seen Robert Pattinson, people was like, "Is this a younger version of Ben Affleck?"
It's not constructive criticism. You're dumbing down my actual constructive criticism to Fandom Menace. You've been calling me Fandom Menace, which is BS, because Fandom Menace just focuses on identity politics, anti-just JW talking points, and I have actual criticisms from story, special effects, the universes, the executives that are in charge of the universes. I have a lot of critique and not just hammering one monotonous bullshit talking point over and over again. So when you say that, it's not, I don't believe it's constructive. I think it's demeaning to my opinion, and it's almost like saying you're just a hater. You're just a hater. No, I've given reasons. No, it's fine. I have got thick skin. I don't take this stuff personally, you know. I'm just letting you know. You could keep saying it, but I don't believe you. You're not hurting me when you say that. I don't believe that's accurate and true. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So I will end it here. And CGH, maybe towards the end of the month, we could talk about doing a watch party for one of, movie, maybe one that we haven't seen yet, like Evolution with David Duchovny or something.
Oh, yeah.
What are you up to, Anthony? What day are you seeing it?
Probably gonna see it maybe Friday or Saturday, depending.
Okay. Maybe I'm gonna get my AMC A-list back before Fantastic Four, so I can get my ticket now.
Yeah.
Because I want to see it that Thursday it comes out.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, everyone. I will see you probably tomorrow. If I'm not doing a live stream, I'll probably do at least some content. I am going to be away Friday and the weekend because I'm going to be at the lake. I'm going to be swimming. And have a good one. Thank you, Anthony, for helping me out on the stream. I really enjoy when you collaborate with me, Anthony. I do.
Oh,
no, the only reason I stop you is because I have to do clip outs because they help the channel. All right, but no more spoilers, Anthony.
Oh, no.
Blame Anthony.
Sorry, my bad, guys.
All right, have a good one. Thank you, Bell, Rhea.
Bye, Bill.
Have a good one.
Good night and good luck, everyone.
All right, good night.